Work. So there's a big difference. And we should not stand for this. We really shouldn't, because this is not how I've watched other proceed in this way. The public is very much involved. So I guess this is actually went to Delaware County and watched how they did their public testing of the machines a couple of years ago, year before last, and it was everything that public test was supposed to be. There's no sound because nobody's saying nothing, Teresa. She said, just look. So they are up there whispering and talking to each other. This is not for us. So now I started doing some voting. Now you got people in the audience talking to each other, but they're not trying to talk to us. Can you hear from the county courthouse cam? So I guess this is a training session for them. Obviously, they don't know how this stuff works. What county you just come from? Heads up. This sound like this look and sound like a bunch of bull already. I ain't been here 15 minutes. So evidently, why did I have a closed training if you didn't want no public here? And that's the election board up here talking. Yeah, good morning. We got set back here. Now, they're not talking to us. This is just for them. So they said that's why they down there whispering and blocked off all these seats. But when I went to Muncie 2 years ago, it was completely different. They were very welcoming. They had you come up to the machines and they showed you how to run through the machines. And Linda said that they will not be doing that. The only we will be doing is watching. So
training session?
No, she said no. Just listening and watching only.
That's why she replaced.
Yeah, that's why Linda needs to be replaced. Yes, I said it because this is not how this is supposed to go. If somebody from the public came up here that never voted before and wanted to know how to these machines work, this is why you had public testing. Now, now this is their training session. I know I got stuff in there. Thank you. I got paper towel. Thank you. Now, I ain't got mad now. I really need to go, so I won't start that because this is their training session. I was told that they would not be answering no questions. She said when they get all done, if you got a question, you might ask her, but because this ain't for us. They didn't flip the script. They didn't say this is for them. It looks like a training session for them, not us. Now we need to get clarification from the state on how these programs are supposed to work, because when I first started coming, this is not how it was done. And they're going to use the excuse that somebody stole the ballot, or they said stole the ballot. Over in Muncie, they had a person stationed at every machine that never left. They got 2 people up here trying to run 4 machines. You got any questions? Are you taking questions from the audience? Miss, what's her name? Linda. I know you said you wasn't, but can the ES&S answer any questions?
Excuse me. How do we know if we have questions if we can't even see what they're doing? Yeah. No, I can't see. I'm telling you I can't see. No.
Well, you should. And Tim, I'm surprised you're going along with this BS. This is not how public test is supposed to go. And I know Tim knows, but the rest of you, I know Linda don't know, and ES&S know, and that's why they don't want to say nothing. But this is a bunch of BS, and you know it. Nobody knows. If somebody came from the public and had no idea how to operate these machines,
but how are we supposed to go back and tell the people that we are trying to represent how to do this?
well, because
So are they having another training?
no, this is it. They got training for the people that'll be working the polls. I'm talking about the people who are going to go vote that day when they're rushing you through and don't have time to stand there and go through what they're going through. That's why they have public tests. She probably at work. But I'm just saying that this is not how they used to do it. And all you candidates that are running, they're allowing the election board and ES&S to do the tests, which I understand that. That could have been done in private or back up in their rooms when they meet anyway. The public should have been able to participate in this test. And I'm standing on that, and they know it. But people will do whatever you allow them to do. So we're supposed to stand here and look at their backs and assume that this is just for the board. What? Now somebody's on here saying that she went to poll worker training last week, and that this don't look nothing like what they trained on.
This is not, because they changed the ballot. The ballot is changed, and it's in two different forms. This is the new form of the ballot. It was explained to me, and so on the absentee ballot, it's on two sides. They have to flip the absentee ballot over to get the delegate. On this, because it didn't feed and it was too long, now the names are side by side. We were invited to this, to come and observe this. And this is not an observation. This is something that we should be able to sit right in the front seats where they are to observe everything that's going on.
Well, in Muncie,
they know what's going on. We don't.
No, they act like they don't know either. They up there telling them what to do. But this didn't upset me, y'all. Now I've been good trying to act right. But this is not what happened in Muncie. This is not what happened in other areas. If you have somebody from the public come and say, I'd like to see how this works. Now, Tim, I know he know. He just ain't saying nothing. He outvoted anyway, so he can't say nothing. Now you got somebody on here saying that they went to the poll worker training, and this is not what this stuff don't look nothing like what they had at the training. I see this looked like a training for the you got the lady from ES&S, a Democrat and Republican from the voting board, and 2 board members. That's who's.
Well, how come the Marion County chair, Democrat chair parties in here?
Madison
County. Why aren't the 2 chairs here?
Because in Anderson, Madison County, they allowed politicians to do them any kind of way. And when you got a lot of ignorant people around that don't care and don't show up, this is how we get treated. I know, you know,
well,
and they know.
Monday, April 6th, May's funeral home, so we can explain to everybody what's going on, so that you can take it back into the community and explain to the public how they need to vote and what they need to look for, because we've already been through this before, when they didn't tell people that they had to vote for city county seats individually. They didn't tell that, and that's how we lost votes. So April 6th, May's funeral home, 6:30 to 8:30, and come and find out where the money is for the youth programs, and how this administration has taken everything from youth, housing assistance, and our government buildings.
Well, you got to vote, but today was supposed to be people learning how to use these machines. They're very intimidating and public tests. In fact, when they sold these machines to the government, they said they would have them out in the communities.
Right.
You remember that? They would have them at churches and community centers, so people wouldn't be in there fumbling around, so you won't have blank ballots and half the ballots filled out. But they done this is done on purpose. And I am fuming, y'all. This is terrible. And everyone, Linda needs to go because she's not doing her job correctly. Everyone and people on that board, the 3, the new one probably don't know any better or just doing what she told. And like I said, Tim knows, but he just outvoted, so he just going along with the program. But this is not no public test for the public. And uh, early voting starts next week too. Next Tuesday. And people who haven't voted that would have liked it. That's why people don't come up here because I've been to poll worker training, and this whole county is a joke. It really is. And it gets crazier every year. Nobody saying nothing. Like you said, what can you see the ballot?
At this point, they should be walking. Everything that they're doing, it should be spoken step
Right.
by step. She should be up there as the clerk of the court, speaking and explaining the changes and how it's changing and how it will affect voting. But as you can see, she's sitting right there in the front seat.
And said she ain't answering the questions.
Because she probably don't know the answer.
Well, I agree with that. But she don't know. See, they have their own training. People that need to be trained.
She doesn't understand. She's explaining it to her.
She's election board. The one in the jeans. She's the president of the election board.
If she doesn't understand and she's giving her extensive explanation, how are regular people supposed to?
They not, and that's what they count on. They count on our ignorance. They count on us not knowing and walking away. They count on us not showing up to vote. Indiana is like 49th in voter turnout, and this kind of BS going on today. This is why there's no open arms to come up here and learn how these machines work and what to do and feel comfortable on election day. Well, Michael McNeil, they don't have no election demonstration day because that might turn out more voters and they may not get those votes.
I tell you what people can do. Starting on Monday, come up here and ask for your ballot in your district. Find out what your district is. Come up here and ask for a ballot, and they will give it to you. They have to give you a sample. Come up here. I mean,
They can go online and get it too.
go online, but I'd rather y'all come to the courthouse and get it. Come to the courthouse. If y'all saying what y'all gonna do, y'all gonna come out and vote. Make these people accountable. Come to the courthouse, make them do their job. Ask for a ballot, and they'll give it to you. That way you can learn your district, who's running in your precinct. You can learn all of that by just coming up to the courthouse. We need to stop being scared to come to this courthouse. This is y'all courthouse.
And then you can figure out how to work the machine later because that's a whole nother game being played. Oh yeah, Tim, look, they, this is election board training day. This don't have nothing to do with no public. I am so disappointed. I am really upset, y'all. The more we get pushed back and we take it, they wouldn't get away with none of this stuff nowhere else. Only they.
Us to stop putting our head in the sand and hold these people accountable for all this craziness, this nonsense that's going on. If we don't ever hold them accountable, they're gonna keep doing what you keep doing the same thing you're doing, you're gonna keep getting the same result. Now it's time to change the result. Now see what happened with the 22 African Americans on the ballot. Now see what happened. They tried to challenge them, didn't challenge them. You gotta do better than that.
Well, now it's no questions. I'm not asking any questions because Linda Smith, the clerk, says she's not taking no questions. The woman from ES&S, the little woman in the flowered blouse, she is not allowed to take any questions. Linda said this was for them only, that we could just watch. And then they put us 4 rows back. 1, 3, we can sit in the 4th row. So you can't see nothing. Look. Oh yeah, Catherine, this is a joke. I am so upset. They said they're not taking no questions. The public ain't even allowed to go up there now. And that That's not how public test is supposed to go, not the way I read about it. Now, they've changed all the rules. They're not talking to us. Linda said this was for them only. So they're up there whispering among each other, learning how to run the machines. Somebody was on here and said that this machine don't look nothing like what they trained on for poll worker training. No, they said that this was not for the people, that we could just view only. And I think that's awful. That really truly is. And you know, I'm not really uh, trying to be against uh, partisan politics. No matter who running this show up here, it should be open to the public, and the public should be allowed to walk through this process. But see, this is why we get done like this, because nobody's here, so they can make up any rules they want. And, and you need to put that on the front page, Ken. That public wasn't allowed to participate in the public testing of the machine.
They never are.
We did. We do it every year. What are you talking about?
You cast a ballot last year?
Yeah, I didn't go up there, but you were allowed to go up there.
Well, I'm going to be back. I'll be right
back. Yeah, right. It's Ken. He ain't got nothing to say. I mean, but this should be front page news. Ken talking about we don't never cast a ballot. The public has been allowed to go up there. That's how all the confusion got last year. But like I said, over in Muncie, they had a person at each machine to facilitate the public who wanted to come through and do a test ballot. But here you're not getting to see nothing. I guess I could blow it up a little bit. Even if I go in, I still can't see what old girl doing. That's the president of the election board. There's Tim Lannon. There's the lady from ES&S. There's Linda. And there's the Democrat and Republican travel board. Now, those are the people that got to see what was going on up there. Well, do a live, Kathy. Come on over here and do a live. But they got us so far back. Yeah, Tim, Tim got to go along with the program. He knows this shit ain't right. But he going along with it because he just won't vote. Now, he got a lot of questions. Now, if he got questions, like the young lady said back here, we can't even see to ask a question. So that's why nobody's talking. Somebody was saying, I can't hear. There ain't nobody talking to us. Tess is here. They ain't not saying what they doing. They not, like she said, they could just say what they're doing. Did they say they were gonna just say the process they just done, or?
I think right now they're validating the machines
Oh.
to make sure that particular balance match.
You say you think?
Well, that's what the explanation.
Oh, I couldn't hear.
So here's the law.
So now.
This must happen 14 days before an election. The county must randomly select precincts, test machines using real sample ballots. At least 5% of the voting machines must be tested or more if requested during public testing.
Now they're down here doing something else. I don't know what they're doing.
Running it into the master to get the tabulation, to see that they match each other.
Then all those machines would have to be brought to another machine where they combine all of them to the county.
Now there is no talking, so it can't hear nothing. Ryan, wait.
So it doesn't say anywhere that we can't go up on the machines. It doesn't say any of that. It says it is open to the public, political parties, candidates, media. So yes, regular citizens can literally walk in and watch.
Well, that's
Not exactly a secret. So we should be able to walk in and go up there and look and see how they're doing it. We can't touch it, but we can actually watch. This was not supposed to, this right here, do not enter, is against the law.
they get to make their own rules. I was told.
It might happen this time, it won't happen yet.
It won't. If something goes wrong, and if something is wrong, it should be identified,
Look at that, y'all. That is pitiful.
and it should be spoken
Yes.
out loud if it is.
Now that's true.
Retest until it is corrected before use.
So we're gonna see if they pass or fail, that's what she's doing now.
Well, they're gonna pass. That's why they don't have nobody up there
And if
looking.
y'all wanna know what law I'm reading, it is.
You got my number. You got my number. I have to get it from you. Can send it to me.
The code is Indiana Code IC 3-11-14.5, public testing law.
So I don't know. They whispering y'all. It's not for us to see or hear. This was those are the two members of the traveling board. So I guess she's explaining, which I don't understand why.
I don't want to see it.
Yes, our county election is ran by Republican Linda Smith. She does has challengers. I send this to all her challengers because things need to change, y'all. I don't care who's in the office. I'd be the same way if it was a Democrat. This is not in the public's best interest. This could have had a private section where they had all this done before the public got here.
I want to see the verification.
They don't read it to you, whether it's verified.
I see it.
I,
I don't want them to read it.
you
to me.
can
I
tell.
want to see it.
They,
They can come and hold it. I ain't saying this, they can do it right here.
they need to speak in the microphone because we might not even be able to hear. So we done? Are they done? Yeah, you the newspaper, you should know we need some. Kendon lost his oh, it's right. You know it's right. They ain't gonna get up there and say it ain't right. You know it's gonna be right. And I see they all huddled back there now. This ain't oh my goodness, Lord Jesus. They all behind the scenes. Well, why didn't they just have a closed meeting? Why they even call it a public meeting? Just close it up and do what they need to do. And
Where's the lawyer?
that Tim is the lawyer. He's the Democratic lawyer, ex state senator. He's one vote up there. Them other two are Republican. Now, what lawyer are you looking for? Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have none. But
Where's, you know which one? No, that was election law.
Tim,
The other one.
Tim knows ain't right. Yeah, I'm gonna get at the Tim. He just got to do what he got to do. His hands is tied. What is this in secret too, or what? Well, they still behind. I have to come up here to the do not enter. I'm behind the rope. Is the test done? Is it done? Did nobody know? Did nobody talk? You don't know? They ran. So, um, I guess you can see it on Madison County uh, website and go to the sandwich and then click on live meetings, and this should be live. We got it on screen up here. You may be able to hear them because we're not able to hear anything. But for real, Madison County, and like I said, it matters not who is in charge. We need open public testing. And like I said, when Muncie had theirs and Republicans ran theirs, they had a person at each machine, so there was no excuse that, well, which one y'all are Democrat?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
But I don't know. I can't answer any questions. I don't know nothing about nothing.
You don't know nothing about nothing. That was a joke, right?
Not with this testing. I came down here to run the ballots, and that was it.
I know you laughing because you know that's a joke, right?
No, thank you.
Well, y'all heard it. You don't know nothing. You know anything?
She's waving me on my time to go.
She got to go. They're not talking to y'all. They're in the election room. She said they're waving her off. She has to go. Yeah. She's working. She work uptown. She work in the election office. On the well, they still behind the machine, so I don't know whose names was on the tapes. Last time we got to see the tapes. We got to run the tapes. It had everybody up there, but like I said, the key was in Muncie, they had somebody at each machine. They never left. And then they had other people scurrying around doing the.
This is why it's important to vote.
I
This
know.
is exactly why it's important to vote. So
Yeah.
we can get some transparency. And this is all we asking for is transparency.
Well, even look like the machines that had it before.
Now he's saying anything machines they had at the post. Did you go to poll worker training or something?
Well,
No, that would be a
not
no.
here, no.
Oh, okay.
I've had a whole bunch of seminars on the elections.
I know you have, Mike. I ain't gonna get you started on these
No, I
machines.
didn't have any polls.
But there's somebody on here that said they did go to poll training and didn't. None of this look familiar.
Ask them if those look like the same machines.
She said no. The lady on here said she just went last week.
Actual voting. I went to two different places in the last two elections. And
I don't know if they just trying to see how long we're gonna sit here and watch them. Because if I go to where the designated seating is, they're all behind the machine. Now this is where they want us to sit. Now if I sit where I'm supposed to sit, then we don't see nothing. Tim up there. Now, Tim, I had a lot of hope in you, but You did a live. How you do a live, Catherine? So I don't know what difference is. Now I can see how this could have been done better. If there was things for them to do to open up the machines, they could have done that and said, as soon as we get this open up, then we'll let the public do a test.
I don't think they could let us sit right there. They
No,
were up late. They could have let us sit right there. And we could have observed everything and asked the questions that they had out loud.
well, they can't answer no question. Did you hear the girl say she ain't know nothing about nothing? That she don't know. And you could see through the video that they didn't know either because they were discussing backtracking and something funny up there to Linda. But,
Yeah, I discovered the same thing at the polls. The two places I went to vote.
okay, heads up, get them up, get the heads up. Heads need to be up. This was our public testing of the machine. Do not enter.
What precincts did they select? What precincts are these?
Well, the third one over is lapel.
Oh, they got them down
You
here.
have to stand up to see
Ingalls,
the label.
Orestes, Lapel, and Pendleton.
First one is Ingles.
Yeah, those are the tests they did. Anderson, you didn't get a test. It was Ingalls, Orestes, Lapel, and Pendleton.
Yeah, this one.
Those were the 4 test areas. Ingalls, Orestes, Lapel, and Pendleton. So, well, they almost done. You are on 8 platforms because I piggyback your live feed. Heads up, you know you have my support. You do what you got to do, girl, because y'all younger than me. They done.
Couldn't believe all the money they spent.
So they did the public tests were on Ingalls.
So Anderson
Is not on there.
was the one that had to have the challenge, that had to have the balance changed. Why wasn't one ran on Anderson?
Nobody asked no. They're not answering no questions right now.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is the balance here had to be changed because of the delegates and because there was no vote and the ballot couldn't be fed.
Right.
So why wasn't that machine? Why wasn't that easy?
You did know that, didn't you? About the 250 absentee, the 250 absentee ballots that were too long and wouldn't feed in the machine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll send you the resolution that you wasn't here. They passed a resolution. 250 absentee ballots were invalidated. They got to appoint a special.
When was this?
The other day.
But they haven't voted yet.
I'm the absentees.
But they haven't sent the
Yes, they
absentees out
did.
yet.
They've been out. What you
Have
talking
they?
about? Where you been, Ken?
We're not gonna see any more of what we're seeing.
Yes, we're gonna see some more.
I have questions.
This let me see. They passed a resolution. It might be out there on the board invalidating the ballots they had already sent out.
Here's precinct 4-2 ballot. Absentee. You have to switch it up. That ballot has gone out. So why, if they changed this ballot and we changed in our precincts, why didn't they test the Anderson or a precinct? Yeah. Because I have a question about that. That's the only thing that changed. Ingles didn't change. Lapel didn't change. Pendleton didn't change. None of those changed. Anderson's changed.
Well, so they can use that as,
The machines represent vote centers.
I'm sorry.
No,
The machines represent the vote centers.
I know, but Anderson changed. Our ballot changed here, right? Because it couldn't
yes,
feed through.
Anderson
Didn't the
one
way it
was that.
changed? Yeah, excuse me. Hold on. I'm speaking to her. Back then.
Anderson one was part of the test.
Anderson one was?
Yes.
okay, I was reading the bottom of the machines, what it said. It didn't, the vote center. Yeah, but none of those are in Anderson.
Remember, you can vote anywhere.
Right, okay.
So Tim is gonna explain the reports and you will be able to verify the pre-test and the test that we just did here. You can compare them side by side.
Okay.
Okay?
But
Thank you.
I have a question for the clerk, if you want to answer a question. It's yes or no, just say yes or no. Would you as the clerk,
Let us move forward.
well, I'm trying to
We
move
just
forward
need to
before I can pay
finish
attention
the
to what
test.
him say, what
I
he's saying.
understand, but we need to finish the
let
test.
me tell you what he's done.
Well, thank you for letting Tim speak, at least we can hear.
So before today, there was a pre-test which was just done yesterday. They included the new ballots, that we had to get the longer ballots. They were pre-tested, and on this stack of papers are the results from the pre-test yesterday of the various.
Can you come up here, Tim, so we can see? Some of us got old eyes.
Yeah. So this was what was tested yesterday.
Excuse me.
Okay, these were the results of the ballots that were cast yesterday in the machine that you see here.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And then today we did the same thing to make sure they match.
Did they match?
They did match. And we went through, actually, you can see, we go through each one of these pages.
Mhm.
It represents, the tabulations. And Michelle and I, Michelle being the Republican member and chair of the board, and myself as the Democrat, we matched each page to make sure that the numbers were the same on each page,
Mhm.
and they were.
Okay.
And then the summary matches as well.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. It shows that the machines, today matched the machines yesterday.
Mhm.
So that's in essence what we did.
Okay.
And I don't really have anything else to explain.
So, were there any issues? Did you run
No,
into any
we
issues
had
at all?
absolutely no issues at all.
None.
In fact, it functioned the way we want them to function.
So, on the ballot, when we feed into the machine, now this is just a question. I was told that because we had so many delegates, that they're gonna be side by side instead of one big long line because of the length of the machine, because of the length of the card.
Are you talking about an absentee ballot,
I'm talking
a
about a
big
regular
ballot, or are you talking about on election day?
election day.
Election day, it's only one column.
It's all,
They
and that's what I'm
fixed
saying,
them.
so they're side by side.
No, they're not. They're all in one.
So all of the ballots are one. So I thought that made the machine, the card
There
longer.
it is. There's what the
They
ballot.
made the card longer.
So it makes the card longer. So now the machine has been calibrated.
Exactly. It's a
To
program
fit the
to
machine.
accept that longer
Okay.
ballot. which
What
was
it should have
the
done in
concern
first
I had,
place.
Once we learned we had to go to the longer ballots,
Right.
which is because of all the delegates that the Democrats have.
Right.
It's accepted and fine, right?
Yes.
We got the new ballots tested. When they hiccup there, that length, I was concerned, for some reason, so we can't take a 17-inch ballot. That wasn't a problem, right?
It's not a problem.
So it's been recalibrated to do a 17-inch
It
ballot
has.
instead of a 14-inch ballot, right?
It's in program.
I'm
It's
crazy.
a program. It's a
Nice.
computer. It's a computer thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
get
programmed.
it. I get it, and that's all I wanted to make sure is because when we go out and tell people that
Yeah.
now this is what you need to look for, we
Right.
just want to make sure that we have the right information.
So the card that I showed you,
Uh-huh.
it was illegible. The names were so small when it came out on our original ballot
Yeah.
that Madison County has always used.
Right.
But we've never had the 39 candidates on there.
And let me,
That's why we ended up having to change to 17
Yeah.
aesthetic, so that way you could read it.
And it could be written, and that was the problem. I remember.
Let me ask a question, because and the reason for that is on election day, right? We're talking about when the voter gets.
No,
Right.
Has
Catherine.
voted and gets back, and so they can see, oh, that's who I voted for.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was like a 7.5 font,
So that
and now
was,
it's a little bit bigger, like
Right.
a 13.
so that was gonna be a real
13
problem.
font.
That was gonna be a real problem. People couldn't read who they voted for.
Right.
So we had to go to the 17.
The actual
And then
paper absentee ballot was okay, which is what you have in your hand. That
Right.
was okay, but the programming only allows for all of your ballots to only be one size. We
Right.
couldn't have a 14-inch piece of paper absentee and a 17-inch long card for election day. That
Okay.
is not allowed in our programming.
Okay.
They have to match.
That's
Because
right.
then if they don't match, then there's, that throws up a red flag.
Right.
But watch
Plus,
this,
when we go to
Carnita.
vote, when we go to hold them, we're gonna help people to come up because they're gonna fill them out and have, at the top. Oops.
That's only in satellites.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, only in
Satellite.
satellite, you're gonna explain that, please?
You're gonna,
In satellite voting, you have an envelope,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a 14-inch envelope. So
Uh-huh.
you're gonna fold it in half, and after that, like fold it here and then fold it here.
Oh.
And then you fold that, and the judges know that, so they'll help the people.
Yeah, we're training our election workers, show them how to fold that. We've even suggested they get a 17-inch, that they can show how to fold so it'll fit into the envelope. Kind of gets get back. We don't want my, I'm rolling it up, I'm putting.
Right, and get it disqualified. We don't want. we
And
don't
this
want it.
is only for the primary election.
This
For
one.
the general election, we won't have the 14.
Go back to our regular, because it was only, and I knew it was just for the primary.
Yeah, we won't
because
have
I
the
knew-
delegates on there.
Right, I knew that this was just for the primary, but I just wanna make sure, so that when they go out and they ask people to vote for them, they actually can tell them exactly how to look for them and where they'll be. And just like on the absentee, most people are just used to the front, and now you have to switch it to the back.
And if you see, it does say vote on the other side.
hey, Chris, I'm glad you got on here. We were not allowed to go near the machines.
And not
We had to
everybody-
just watch. They got us
Yeah. And
blocked off.
That's all. We have a meeting April the 6th, and I just want to be able to tell people, look, this is how you vote, this is what you look for, because it was an incident where it wasn't explained to the community before, and we don't want that to happen again. We want all these elections to be fair.
We always have those on the wall, we come in up the sheet, we'll have the front, we'll have the back, all on the wall, so people, they have to walk.
We actually have them in
There is
notebooks.
Like the notebooks now?
Yes, because remember, they had a hard time taking everything out, so they're in a notebook and they're offered.
112
Right.
precincts, and a lot of those ballots are different. That's why this tape took so long. But each one of those, I think we have 85 different faces of the ballot. Put
I still
85
have-
of them on the wall. It's
Chris, I'm trying to-
easier to that sample ballot book for them to actually go right to their sample ballot and not have to figure it out.
Carnita, let me ask a question about what you're talking about. At last week's meeting, you said there were 250 absentee ballots that had got put out before you went to this longer ballot. You said that you would create a commission, or is it going to just be you guys that will say, though you get 250 of those back and they're still on the 17-inch one. So they have to be counted separately by a separate committee. Do you have that committee appointed, or is it going to be you three?
That, no, it's not us typically. It is appointments from the two party chairmen.
Okay.
So how many people going to be on there?
The team is 2 people, 1 Republican, 1 Democrat.
Well, who is that going to be? Since you said it wasn't gonna-
That, yeah, they will make those
Yeah, we'll
appointments.
talk to you about that.
Yeah,
I have one other
people
question.
who voted,
And then, okay, and then my thing is, now I know what happened during the last public test, but I studied this before we even got these machines, when they sold them to the United States government. They said that these machines would have public testing, machines would be out in the schools and the community centers, the churches, so that people would be familiar with them and learn how to use them, so they wouldn't take so much time up in the voting booths or voting areas. That has never happened.
I think
So,
that did happen in the beginning when they
Uh,
did the first
well, you went to the library one afternoon at 1 o'clock when nobody showed up, but
and I
but-
think it was also at wasn't it at the county fair?
yeah, y'all went to the county fair that nobody goes to in Anderson. But the point I'm trying to make is every election, people are intimidated and not fully aware of how these machines operate. Why didn't you let people come up here if they had wanted to? A lot of them wouldn't come to use these machines.
That's not the purpose of.
That's not the
this.
purpose.
This is the official public test. You're talking about a demonstration. Is what
Well,
I'm
that's what
saying.
I went to Muncie's public test. They had everybody come up.
Remember, their machines are, and they're different than ours. Right?
Yeah, they're made in America. Y'all using stuff that's still they're made in Indianapolis, made in America. We still, I know they're a different company, but they're still a voting equipment, and we're still using machines that have foreign parts in them. But the point I'm trying to make is this was a time when people were able to run a sample ballot through these machines. Why did that change?
And will the opportunity ever come again? I guess that's
It will when we get rid of Miss Smith and get some new leadership.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes.
Not until we are open for demonstration if somebody wants to come up.
Okay.
We're here from 8 to 4.
Okay. And then I have will the poll workers be retrained?
Oh, yes, we're doing that.
Okay.
And somebody just got on here and said they had pole training, and what you got going on up here didn't look like nothing they did.
Satellite training. Poll worker
Oh, yeah,
training
yeah.
is
We don't go out with satellites.
Yeah.
Okay, these are just
These
names.
are only for election day.
Election day.
Satellite is only-
And we'll have
that's what
separate
we just
trainings for
explained to
those.
you.
Okay.
You got different machines.
Put into an envelope.
What are you saying?
We'll have separate trainings for the election day workers, and these machines will be there.
Yes. Rebecca, we've never had these machines in over one. Remember how you come up?
Well,
with the box, you stick it in the box, the blue box.
We're not able to tabulate any votes prior to election day in the state of Indiana, because if anybody passes away prior to election day, their ballot must be pulled.
Well, I know that. Did y'all use the candidates' actual names in any of these?
These
Cause-
are actual live ballots. Once again, the same thing as every test is in every county in the state of Indiana. You have to use live actual ballots that are.
Well, I know that. I'm talking about the name.
They're live ballots and they're marked test. It would just be like a ballot that you would get
Names are
either
all-
in the mail or
The
on
r-
early.
Okay, I understand what you.
Go to that page.
I understand what you're saying, but the reason I brought that up, I had a state official tell me that they shouldn't use the actual candidates' names. They didn't like it. It wasn't against the law.
For a demonstration, that is not for a public test, and we can give you the IC.
Okay.
Oh my God, y'all left me out. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm done.
Tim, come on.
I'm done.
That's what I want. Yes, I'm the very last one.
Arnita, sorry, you're on the very last page.
I
I'm done. Let me go.
Did you beat me? Oh, good, no, bye. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right,
So
thank
why
you.
was this different from the last election? Tim, that's something you might ask. Why was this different from the last testing?
Why was it different?
Yeah. You know, like when you let people sit up in the front row. Unplug that for me. Wait. Unplug that. You know, last when yeah. Why was it different from the last test? Cause of all the commotion. Well, but you know, I know, but we shouldn't be punished for life for that. Well, Bill, he said because we had issues last time. I guess so here we was, Bill, we had to sit way back here. We didn't hear nothing. We didn't see nothing. This was a bunch of BS, but that's what we do over here in Madison County when it comes to the public. Yeah, she's good. Linda they got kids here. Excuse me.